Okay, how did IANYS begin? Well, I think for me it goes back to 1966 when I started issuing something called the National Service Newsletter in the United States. And basically it was for several hundred, maybe 1,000 or two people later on in the States who were interested in national service and might influence it in some way. And then gradually I heard about overseas programs like the ones in Nigeria and in Germany. Started sending it overseas, and that continued to build up over the years. And then I think it was in 1990 that I got a letter from Mrs. Makwi of Botswana, of the National Service Program there called Terelo Sechaba. And she was interested in what she'd been reading in the newsletter and wanted to know if we could all get together sometime and exchange ideas and talk about things. And so I was able to get some money for a conference in the United States in 1992. And it was represented by some 14 countries from various parts of the world, most of which had national service programs, and a few where there were people who were interested in pursuing it. And that then had a positive result. They said, let's get together again, and the delegate from Nigeria invited us to Nigeria in '94, where we met, and at that time they resolved to create some sort of association. And so 2 years later we went to Papua New Guinea, and we had some preliminary readings where we drafted a charter, and we discussed it at the conference that was held in Papua New Guinea in '96. And that is where IANYS officially came into being. And then we continued to meet in the UK and Israel and Argentina, and then in Ghana. That's where the backdrop comes from here. And now on to Paris. Now, as to the future of IANYS, I think three things. First, that it'll continue as it is to exchange ideas for improving national service, for starting it up in various countries. And another thing is the motivation a lot of people have who are interested in national service. It goes back to 1906 in William James's Moral Equivalent of War. And we don't know if it'll ever be an alternative to war, but we do know, as James pointed out in his essay, that young people have a lot of energy. They want to express that energy. They like adventure. They like challenges. And as my colleague Reuben Gall pointed out in our latest book called Service Without Guns, he developed on the basis of James, but then also in terms of the work of Erickson and Maslow, the sort of a youth construct, showing that national youth service was just the right kind of experience for young people to have. And so I think IANYS has a very bright future indeed.